Short and sweet, that's it. Oh no. Where is the which?
Good evening, dear friends. Welcome and thank you for joining our first virtual meeting of the Pastoral visit of His Excellency Bishop Paul Linder. Now, may I request our Parish Council Vice President, Mr. Bong, to welcome His Excellency.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. It's been years since we last had interaction with our dear Bishop. The last time that we met him was 2019. And then the following year, we had this pandemic and we did not get a chance to meet our dear bishops. So, my dear brothers and sisters from the Arabic community, the African, the Filipino, French, Italian, Malayalam, Konkani, Korean, Polish, Spanish, Sri Lankan, Ukrainian, Urdu, Tamil, and all other nationalities that are online right now with our Zoom meeting. Brothers and sisters, let us welcome His Excellency, our dear Bishop Paul.
Thank you, Bong. Now, may I request His Excellency Bishop Paul Linder to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. I'm pleased to meet you at least with this modern means we have at disposal nowadays as a physical meeting. And President Bong is maybe difficult. And from the beginning, to express the gratitude to all those who have written this kind of project with some anxiety, but also with hope. And despite all the difficulties we have to go through, that you bear it in this spirit of humility, but also of faith that Jesus, He is in our midst, as He has promised all the time until the end of the world, not only in the good times, but especially in the bad times, even if we cannot feel it psychologically. So happy to meet you this evening and to listen to the reports or whatever you are presenting this evening, to know a little bit about the vitality of this parish, despite the COVID situation. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to meet you in this way.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Dear friends, as you know, today's meeting is a place where you can ask questions, you can give your complaints, suggestions, feedback, or whatever you want for your community. But before we go ahead, a few information that I would like to pass on. The most important thing, the priests are not part of the meeting. No one is watching this, so whatever you say is secret. Second, all the members on the Zoom, please make sure your mics are always on mute. If you have any questions, please raise your hands virtually so the moderator can unmute you and we give you a chance to speak. Any questions that you have, if you're not on Zoom and you're watching on YouTube and you have some question, we have a WhatsApp number on which you can speak. The number is 056 306 2052. Let's see again, 056 306 2052. Now, there are a few people who have already sent us some messages and emails, and someone who have already agreed to speak, they would like to speak. So may I request Mr. Fadi from the Arabic community to say a few words, please.
Good evening, Your Excellency, Parish Council, and dear brothers from the other communities. It's a pleasure and a grace to meet together again, or at least virtually. And I'm being thankful to God that we have still the grace of technology that we are able to meet and celebrate, or to do a mission at least. And I thank God especially that in Abu Dhabi we are able to celebrate masses. That's maybe other places are very difficult for them. So dear Bishop, Your Excellency, I congratulate you and the priest and all the volunteers. I believe, for my own opinion, the success of organizing all these things in the church with all the proper arrangements and procedure to avoid any dangers for the faithful and to make it available for people to celebrate Mass. I just, maybe just to make it short, I just have two questions, or maybe one question with two parts. Could be how possible, or how soon, or how far we can soon at least have two things, like doing an adoration, Eucharistic adoration physically, and also at least celebrate the sacrament of reconciliation also in person. I don't know how soon or how far possible. Maybe slowly in the future, the country will open more. Maybe some new instructions will come from the authorities, will be able to have little more freedom, more safety will be available, I believe. Most of people are vaccinated now. So maybe you have a vision, maybe you have a clear what's going to happen soon in the future. So how soon, or at least how far we can able to do at least two extra things other than masses, like Eucharistic adoration and sacrament of reconciliation in person.
Dear Fadi, to give you an answer, of course, these are things, they depend not only on me, not only on the parish priest, but it has to be seen in the regulations also of the DCD in Abu Dhabi. We speak here about Abu Dhabi, the emirate with the 3, respectively 4 parishes. Now, to come to your question, it's a question we may have to ask a particular permission to do supplementary activities also on Zoom, like an adoration or other activities. Per se, it's not impossible. And I leave it, of course, to the parish priest. I may transfer the desire what they want to do, for example, on the Feast of Corpus Christi. That could be an occasion to have a kind of adoration where also people could follow on Zoom. For the Sacrament of Reconciliation, that is to be resolved on an individual person-to-person basis. You know, for the time being, we are still obliged to keep the compound locked during the day. If I have made a request to DCD already many weeks ago to have the permission to leave it open during the day for individual visits to the church for adoration. And that would also be a possibility for individual confessions, but they would have to be registered also, taking in advance an appointment with the respective priest to avoid further difficulties with the authorities. But still, at the moment, we have this situation that the compound is locked during the day. Although if someone is phoning, taking an appointment, there are possibilities already now, but not in big numbers.
Thank you, Bishop. Now we have Ms. Violi from Filipino community who would like to say something.
Good evening. Good evening,
Good evening.
everyone. Good evening, Bishop. I am representing the Katolikong Pinoy sa Abu Dhabi. On behalf of the Pinoy community, we would like to thank you, Bishop Paul, for all your support. Actually, the Katolikong Pinoy sa Abu Dhabi, since the start of this pandemic, we really have a few activity because most of these were limited, not of physical activity, but we do it through Zoom. Since the start of the pandemic, Bishop, we through the initiative of Father Troy, we are having this Rosary Novena every night, every day except Fridays and Sundays, but it is participated in by all the communities from Al Ain, from Ruwais, from Musafa, and from Abu Dhabi. And we also conduct online recollection, Bishop. Sometimes we do it once or twice a month, but it's regularly done. And it's by Zoom also, through YouTube and through the page, through social media. All our activities now are through social media because of this pandemic. But maybe in due time, when this pandemic really is gone, we will all be back with our physical activities. But Bishop, I just would like to ask, because of these queries we've been receiving from our Katolikong Pinoy page, most of the queries we receive is about the chance. Is there a chance to increase the number of slots available for parishioners to attend the Mass, especially during Tagalog Mass? Would there be a chance, Bishop, to increase the slots? Because all of them are asking, because it's really hard to enter into the registration because of limited slots.
Yeah, I can't give you straight away an answer to this question. Of course, one possibility is to open more space, but you know, now we are going towards the summer, and I don't think that anybody is interested to assist to the Mass at 45 or 50 degrees on the compound. We have to be inside and to where the air conditioning is working. And there, for the time being, the number is limited. They can't change it. I'm expecting, of course, that during the coming week, there might be some easing of the rules by the government here in Abu Dhabi. But I can't give you a promise regarding that. But it looks like certain regulations will be less strict than they were in the last 12 or 14 months. We see that. And then, of course, immediately there would have been more possibilities also for the faithful. I can only ask you patience. Patience, it's also one of the virtues we have to learn if we have not already got it during these last 14 months.
Yes,
Thank
Bishop.
you.
Thank you, Bishop.
Bishop, our next question is on the WhatsApp we have received. This is from the French community. They would like to ask, when can the French community celebrate Mass every week or every Saturday again?
Yeah, the first question is, what was the regulation before the COVID? There was every Saturday, the Mass at 11 o'clock. I haven't present now the timetable of the parish.
Alternative Saturdays.
Alternative
Saturday there was a French mass.
Every second.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't think that we shall multiply the language masses after the COVID. Also because several lay people I consulted during the last 12 months in the context of the lay assembly, they even suggested me to be careful not to multiply again the language masses, rather to reduce it and to give priority to the English masses, to allow everybody to assist to the masses as possible. Now, for the French community, you have this possibility, but surely during the summer, there will anyhow be less stress in this regard. I think in the past there were moments, as far as I remember, that the French Mass was even stopped during the summer season because most of the people were outside. This may not be the case now because of the COVID-19, but you have regularly a French Mass, even not every week, then at least regularly. And I think that's already something much more than other communities have in this regard. But I will look with all the situation in the parish, how we can maybe better answer to the real need of the community.
Now we have Mr. Anthony from Malayalam community. He would like to speak.
Good evening, Bishop.
Good evening.
Good evening, all. And first of all, I would like to extend my thanks to entire crew for giving us chance. Especially since the COVID started, we came to the quarantine. And of course, our parish is doing our very best to entertain our faithful, especially all in the Southern Arabia. We are doing our best to entertain our faithful, and I would like to extend my thanks to everybody, especially the parish priest, and we would like to know more about the coming days, especially the Malayalam community would like to put one request. During this pandemic situation, Bishop, please, you can arrange a seminar or class to release our stress, especially for our youth and the parents who are sitting at home. If you can arrange one seminar or a class in order to release our stress. And also Malayalam community would like to know whether we can have one more mass if the time allows, permits. Actually, we are more than 5,000 faithful Malayalam community. Even 10% cannot attend the mass, a language mass in the weekly. So I request if you can allow us to attend one more mass, even weekdays or weekends. We prefer. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see what can be done regarding the stress management to do it in a better way if there is a possibility of a kind of seminar. By the way, I think something similar has been arranged in the family ministry online. Maybe we can extend that. Regarding the masses, I repeat what I said before regarding the French. I'm surely not now introducing additional language masses. First of all, you have the possibility to follow that online for those who cannot come to the church. And I doubt that those people who cannot come on Friday in the present situation, that they have more possibilities to come during the week. It would simply add a mass for the same people who come, have the facility to join the church. So let us wait until we have a certain normality after the COVID. At the time being, we have to live with this restriction. Not only you, faithful back home, it's equally a problem for me as a bishop. I should go around to the parishes. I'm very limited in this regard. I should go to the northern emirate, to the northern vicariate. I couldn't do my duty because of the regulations which are still in force. As soon as there is more freedom, then we hope we can do more. So again, my word, patience, patience, patience.
Bishop, next question is from the Malankara community. They are saying, we are truly fortunate to get the consideration of Your Excellency and all other priests in charge of the parish in the past years. They are grateful to you for appointing a Malankara priest in Musaffa for the last few years to get more pastoral care and sanctioning infrastructural facilities for conducting catechism classes. Since the number of Malankara community has increased, if it is possible, we will be grateful to you if we get a chance to celebrate the Mass once a week.
I repeat what I said, no multiplication of the masses right now. Please understand, it would be the wrong moment to introduce now a new regime in this time of crisis. Once we have normal times, then we can in peace discuss questions like this, but not now. And think back a few years in the past when you didn't have any Malankara Mass. Then later one priest, now two priests. I see we have in my mother tongue the proverb, der Appetit wächst mit dem Essen. That means the appetite comes while eating. The more you give, the more the people want to eat. And we have to be also careful in this regard when it comes to the spiritual level.
Thank you, Bishop. So there are more questions asking for the same thing for community masses. So we are not going to speak about it anymore. I guess the answer is the same. We have one more message. This person says, do you believe that COVID restrictions have increased the isolation of our priests and the alienation from the average everyday life of our parishioners? In the Western world, more and more churches have shut down. Do you think it is only a matter of time for this to happen in UAE? Are you worried about the bishops in Germany? Will they split from the Catholic Church?
The whole package of questions connected. And of course, influenced also by certain media who make it dramatizing. Of course, we know in certain parts of the worldwide church, there are elements of crisis. In each part with a different accent. Germany may be one. On the other hand, it's at the same time also a vital church. It may sometimes show symptoms which we do not always understand. Now, regarding the emptying the churches, I hope that after the COVID, we will have a similar situation here as we had before, but I have no guarantee. We will certainly have less people because many have left the country. I don't know if they can come back after the COVID crisis. We have to live with this situation. We were used during the last 20 years or 25 years. Every year the population was growing. We needed more space. That may have come to a stop, not only, by the way, because of COVID, but also of the policy regarding the economic situation. Regarding the church activity, we will surely have to address also as a church the question how to motivate the people not to remain on the level only of the virtual activities regarding masses following on the screen or to do the communication on the screen. This is very precious, especially in a situation as we have now. But church lives in a sacramental way, and that means where we have to touch, to eat, to see, to smell, where the whole body is involved in a certain sense. And that is possibly only when we are forming one community, physically be present, for example, in the church or in other occasions. And that's why we cannot simply reduce our church life to the virtual level. This is a very precious means additionally to the others, and I think we have learned a lot during the last 14 months since the outbreak of the COVID crisis. But we shouldn't forget that there are other elements which are not there. For example, you cannot take the communion on the screen. You have to be physically present in the church. And similar it is when you use water or whatever it is.
Thank you, Bishop. We are waiting for more questions. If anyone has any questions or has any feedback, suggestions, or any complaints, we ask you to please raise your hand or WhatsApp us now so that we can get you on the screen. I think someone has raised their hand.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tanya. I'm from Ukrainian community. I don't have any question. I have only feedback and appreciation. We feel we are very lucky last few months because it's returning to, we are going to Mass, to visiting Mass, and we are not such a huge community. So everyone who would like to visit is entering and registering. So this is our luck. Accordingly to our Dubai friends, we are so lucky people. So at least twice per month, and in the most important religion, we have holidays, we have gathering together like a family. Appreciation to Father Stefan, because he's involving also to our Ukrainian school, which is based in Embassy. It's Friday school. It's also with all precautions, with all with accurate, but still we celebrate St. Nicholas Day for kids, even if it's very low quantity of kids. But again, we were so happy. We use Father Stefan background as a teacher for some Ukrainian classes for our international student, and we're really so happy that the church is open for people again and again. It's a very nice feeling to visit you at least sometimes. Hopefully it's never be closed again. Thank you so much, Bishop, for your support.
Thank you, Tanya. We have Mr. Joseph who has raised his hand. He would like to say something.
Yes.
First of all, I would like to thank you for our parish council, parish office, and every bishop and everyone, each and everyone who are participating in our regular activities, volunteers, and all the parishioners, all the parish priests, everyone. I would like to thank you for our mass every month. On one mass we have. For that also I am giving thanks. If you can for our parish council, parish and office, and every bishop and everyone, each and everyone who are participating in our regular activities, volunteers, and all the parishioners, all the parish priests, everyone. I would like to thank you for our mass every month. One mass we have. So I'm giving thanks. Hello. Hello.
Okay, now I guess.
You can continue.
Hello? Yeah, yes. Dear Bishop, if you can allow us to give a retreat in Tamil during the Lenten season and during the Christmas time, if you can allow, but it's better for us. In the YouTube.
I didn't understand
They
the
would
question.
like to have a retreat in Tamil during Christmas or any time possible.
That
On YouTube.
we see it towards the end of the year when we come to the season.
Yes.
Last year minutes confirmation transactions.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? We would like to know if anyone else has any questions. Yes, we have someone who has raised the hand.
Yes, greeting in Christ, Bishop, dear sister and brothers. I am representatives from the Ukrainian community from Dubai, and I am principal of Ukrainian Christian school in Dubai. And I also would like to express we would like to express, Your Excellency, our high respect and gratitude. And we are very, very thankful for Your Excellency, to your support and care which you provide us and our Ukrainian Christians community in Dubai. For 5 years, our children study religion in St. Mary Catholic School in their native language, and it is a blessing for all of us. And despite of COVID-related restrictions, we were able to continue to teach catechism lessons for our children safely using online platforms, as well as video lessons on the YouTube channel. Every Friday, we have online classes for about 45 children. And this year was not easy for us, and thanks God, our priest, Father Stefan, helps and supports us. He guides us with catechism lessons in the right direction. During COVID restriction, Father Stefan inspires and encourages us. We appreciate Your Excellency for giving us such a wonderful priest. And we are looking forward for Father Stefan being able to worship God with the Holy Mass in Dubai. And we have a question to Your Excellency, when it will be possible to have a Holy Mass for Ukrainian community in Dubai?
That I can't tell you now. You know the regulations in Dubai, where the rules of the CDA are much stricter than compared to the rules of the DCD here in Abu Dhabi. So I can't tell you, you know, that in the case of Dubai, also for the so-called the Latin masses, there is no communion because the time given is too short and the regulations strangely do not permit it. So we have to live with this, unfortunately, with this situation. I hope, as I said earlier, with easing the regulations in the whole country and maybe in the whole region, also the situation for the churches will be better. I hope, and I do what I can from my side to bring it to that point.
Thank you
Our
so
next
much.
question on the WhatsApp. The question is, during these demanding times the world and the church are passing through, what are the actions His Excellency sees necessary from the community or prayer groups coordinators?
Action for?
What action you see necessary from them, from the community coordinators?
Regarding?
During the tough times that we are having right now.
Yeah, the basic is surely that we live the solidarity also in the difficult moments, and that we are able to put a little bit on the second place our own personal interests of our own community, and that we keep in mind the needs of all. Of course, then there is the material sector. We know there are many people under stress. We heard it also this evening. There are people losing the job, or they are in serious financial problems. Now, it is obvious that we don't have the means to cover all the needs which are there. But ad hoc, in individual cases, there is possibility of help. And I think already now in the community, as the parish, be it here in Abu Dhabi as well as in others, people are doing a lot. I have seen wonderful examples of help and solidarity in this regard. But again, the needs are much more than our possibilities, and then there will always remain a certain gap between our possibilities to give assistance, especially when we come to the material sector. Then there's the whole spiritual aspect, that we live and give to each other hope. It doesn't help if we are complaining all the time, as certain people have the tendencies. It doesn't resolve the problems. It makes only deeper the depression. And I am always fighting a little bit against this tendency that we make the situation worse than it is already in complaining, that we live a spirit of hope and joy amidst the problems we are living in. And I think that there everybody can contribute, whoever he or she is.
We have one more person who has raised his hand. I think Mr. Richard has raised his hand. Maybe you get him on the screen, please.
Unmute.
Now, just a second, you're on the mute, please. Okay, you can start now. Mr. Richard, please. Now.
Thank you. Also, I have understood only half because of the sound quality. It was very difficult to follow the whole content of it. As I understood, that you are expecting a little bit more attention regarding the situation in Africa and those our brothers and sisters living here of the African community. I met today the African priest, and we have also spoken about this situation. But of course, it sounds easier to get in touch with the ambassadors of the different countries and to look certain coordination. But in the reality, it doesn't work normally like that. But let me have a look together also with other people who are working in the field.
Thank you, Bishop. That was the last question. As you can see, the time has come to an end. We will not take any more questions. We would really like to thank His Excellency Bishop Paul Hinder for your presence. Bishop, thank you so much for visiting our parish and taking care of us always, and your wonderful support. At the end, may I request, Bishop, a small message and a final blessing from you, please.
Yeah, the message I would say again, courage, and don't forget, we are living now these days Pentecost. We had the Mass with the confirmation of more than 90 children this evening. It will be furthermore tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, that we keep in mind these young Christians, that they remain on the track of what the Holy Spirit wants us to teach, that He is the personified love of God poured out into our hearts, mobilizing our life, the whole body and mind, that we are continuing to live what Jesus Christ wanted us to teach, because He said, I will send you the assistant, the advocate, who will remind you everything I taught you. And not only that we not forget it in our head, but we realize it in our lives. I thank all those who are remaining on this way in this parish and giving a wonderful witness. I know personally many people who are doing that in an exemplary way. Thank you for that. And for the rest, I say, courage. Don't be afraid, because The Lord is there, and He is the head of the body, and He will find the way, whatever is happening in our lives. May I give you the blessing also on this way now in the virtual say. The Lord be with you.
And also.
And may Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you, and see you again, hopefully the next time in physical presence and not only virtually.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you for your visit and thank you for your message. Friends, please remember tomorrow evening we have a general body meeting. We request everyone to be a part of it. Thank you once again for your presence. Good night.
Good night. Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.